find a few points, make a line. So create a table of values, what we used to do, find some points, connect them with a line. So let's do that right now just to review. When we did that day one, easy points for x would be 0, 1, 2, but Mr. Barker's a mathematician. He knows with a denominator of 2, it's better to use 2 and 4. And you never have to do that, so don't worry about it. But then we'd have to substitute in. So we would say x equals 0, put into our equation, negative 1/2 times 0 plus 4. Anything times 0 is 0, so it's 0 plus 4, and y equaled 4. Okay? And so then we do another point as well. So we do 2, x equals 2. Y equals negative 1/2 times 2 plus 4. And don't forget the last one of 4. So x equals 4, y equals negative 1/2 times 4 plus 4. Now I chose those points for a reason. What happens when you go negative 1/2 times 2? Well, let's cancel first. What's 2 divided by 2? 1. Well, it's super easy, isn't it? So now it's simply negative 1 times 1, negative 1 plus 4. And your answer is 3. Okay. Find your answer for the next one. Go. X equals 4. So you should get y equals 2. Okay, because you should go 4 divided by 2, cancel out first, and then multiply negative 1 by 2. Okay. Good, now that you have 3 points, what can you do? Plot them and make a line. Okay, so plot those points real quickly on the grid over on the left. Okay. So there's the 3 points. Now make a line that goes all the way across your grid. If you don't have a ruler, use a sheet of paper. So there's my beautiful line. Now it asks, what's the y-intercept? So this is your y-axis. This would be your y-intercept. Your value, what's the value of x at this point? 0. What's your y value? Yeah, it's plus 4. So you can put down plus 4 for your intercept. Okay. Now it says, what's the slope of the line? So find 2 points right here. They're exactly on the line. Find your rise, which is negative 1, and your run, which is 2. Okay. So your run is 2. So your slope, rise over run, so it's negative 1 over 2. All right. Interesting. Let's look at our equation. Do you see a plus 4 anywhere in your equation? Yep, right at the back, plus 4. Do you see a negative 1/2 in your equation somewhere? Right at the front. So this is your slope, m, and this is your intercept, which we call b. Now, if I'm given a line like y equals 3x minus 2, I could graph that right away. Here's minus 2 down below. I'll use green for that. Here's my intercept, minus 2. The slope of 3, up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. So now I can make my line. Pretty easy, isn't it? Just count. Okay. So when you're given that information, you can make a line super duper easy. All you got to do is count your slope after you plot your intercept. So we have y equals mx plus b. That equation will be given to you. M is the fancy letter for slope, And plus b, and it's important to note it includes the sign, this is your intercept. And sorry, it's your y-intercept. Okay. So when you're graphing, step 1, plot your y-intercept. Step 2, use the slope to count other points. So you can go up or down, left or right. Your slope will tell you what to do. And that's why we practice it so much. So looking at this part right here, what's your slope for this equation? Remember y equals mx plus b? Well, what's the number in front of x? 2/3. It's not hard, folks. Your slope's in front of x, it's 2/3. What's your y-intercept? -1. It's always after x. So let's plot -1. Here's your x-axis and your y-axis. So here's 0, 0. And so -1 would be down below your axis. Okay. Now 2/3 tells us to do what? +2 tells us to go up 2. And +3 tells us to go right 3. So go up 2, right 3, there's another point. Up 2, right 3, there's another point. Now, how can we also write negative 2/3? We could also use -2 and -3. What does that tell you to do? Down 2, left 3. So from that point, go down 2, left 3. Down 2, left 3. Now you can make your line all the way across the grid. And make sure it doesn't stop. Lines never stop. They touch the sides of the grid to show that they go forever and ever and ever. You get the point? Okay. And let's label this line number 1 because it's example number 1. How's that for you? Think you can do it? Okay, well, so let's do example number 2. It's a bit special, right, Harbier? What's the slope? What number's in front of x? Zach? Nope. What number's in front of x? Nope. You're a lot closer with the 3, but it's the opposite of 3. -3. Don't forget your negative signs, okay? It makes a huge difference. Now, what's the intercept? What's after x? What would be the only number in the whole world we wouldn't have to write? 0. +0 or -0. So your intercept is 0. That means that it goes to the origin. That's very special. So let's plot it with 0. Okay. Now, what's 3 as a fraction? Sorry, -3 is a fraction. -3 over 1. So what does that tell you to count? Down 3, right 1. So 1, 2, 3, right 1. 1, 2, 3, right 1. Now do the opposite as well. So now it also is +3, but what will we write down below? -1. So what does that tell you to count? Up 3, left 1. So up 3, left 1, up 3, left 1. Now you can make your line. Make sure it's big and long from one side to the other. Okay, and this is number 2. Okay, example number 2. Okay, any questions? Think you can graph a line? Thumbs up, down, middle, what would you say? Oh, hey, Ishwar, how you doing? Pay attention? Good. Okay, example number 3. Write the equation of the line in the slope-intercept form. So as soon as they say that, you write down mx plus b. You should say enough in your head to memorize it. Y equals? Oh, you guys are awesome. Love it. Okay, so I tell you the slope, that's n, and I tell you the y-intercept, that's b. This is really hard. Replace the letters, please. So you have a y and an x that won't change. What's in front of x? Taylor? Bingo. And what's after x? Navneet? -5. Now, how's that for easy questions? Okay. Easy peasy. Told you it's lemon squeezy. Turn it over. Now you're doing the exact same thing, except I'm not going to tell you the slope and the intercept. You're going to have to find them. Let's call this line 1. So what's that point where it crosses your y-axis? Okay, just to let you know, it's a little faint, but that's where your axes are, so you may want to mark them down, x and y. Okay. Now, tell me the point where it crosses the y-axis and find your slope. Go. For your slope, I'd use maybe this point and this point. Make a right triangle. Find your rise and find your run. Ruben, what's your rise?
3.
Nope. You're not going up. Thank you. -3. Good job. And what's your run? Yamni? Not -1. Because it is going from right to left. So left to right. 1. Okay? So your slope is -3 over 1. Always simplify. -3. Now what's that intercept? Ishwar? Thank you. Good job for helping him. Thank him later. Okay, so your intercept's -1. Now you can make your equation. Y equals mx plus b. Melissa, what do you think it is? Good. Always say y equals though, okay? So y equals -3x minus 1. And yes, you do have to have the y equals, okay? How was that? Hard? Not really. Okay, do number 2 now. This is line 2 over here. Okay, go for it. Sonny, what'd you get? Don't forget the y equals part. Okay. Any questions? Yes, Jason. Negative slope? But negative slopes go this direction. Okay, they go down from left to right. So that's what line 1 was, but in line 2 is opposite, so they can't have a negative slope. Okay, so because we're going left to right, the run is +4, rise is +2, because we are going up. All right, or you could have had 1 over 2, right? Depends on your triangle. Or you could have had 4 over 8, or 3 over 6, something like that. Okay. Next one, determine if the point is on that line without graphing. So this is a check. Now don't write this down, but remember last year in grade 9 we would say x equals 3, and your equation is like 2x minus 4 equals 6, and we'd say, oh, substitute in. So you get 2 times 3, because the 3 goes in for x, You have this great wall of check. 6 minus 4 is 2. Now, does left side equal right side? No. So this is not correct. So we're going to do the exact same thing, except we have two values to check. We don't just have an x, but we have a y as well. So we have to check that x equals 4 and y equals 5. That's the point. Okay, so write that down. So we're going to put that into our equations. In for y, in for x. 5 equals negative 2 times 4 plus 13. Put down the great wall of check, which you'll never cross. Multiply those together to give you negative 8 plus the 13. And we get 5 equals 5. So this is correct. This is true. Therefore, the point 4, 5 is on the line. If it was false, would the point be on the line? No, it wouldn't. So you got to get a true statement. 5 equals 5, 3 equals 3, something like that. Negative 2 equals negative 2. Okay. Good. Next. Now what we're saying is y equals 9. What does x equal? So what we have to do is substitute 9 in for y and solve. This is just like last year where we were solving. So 9 equals negative x plus 4. What's the first thing you do for your work? Remember, you have to do the opposite of what you see. I see a plus 4. The opposite is minus 4. So we get 5 equals negative x. Now, I don't know about you, but I see a negative 1 times x. What's the opposite of negative 1 times x? Divide by negative 1. So it's not magically changing your sign, but you're dividing by negative 1 to get positive x. There's your answer. Okay. X equals negative 5. Any questions about this solving stuff? You haven't practiced at all this year that much. A little tiny bit here in surface area. Any questions? Okay, if you do ask. This is huge important. And once I show you a couple things, you'll see it's quite easy. Okay, next one. Here's your slope. It passes through this point. What's the equation? So what we have is y equals mx plus b. We know what m is, but we don't know what b equals. If we knew, we'd have our equation right away. So what we have to do is find it. And luckily for us, they gave us a point that we can use for x and y. And since we know slope, we're set. So we're going to get, what's our y value? Looking at your 0.65, what's your y value? 5. What's your m value? Negative 2 over 3, it's your slope. What's the x value? 6. Oh, they're so nice because 6 and 3 cancel nicely. Plus the letter b, which we got to find. So first of all, do your multiplication by canceling. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we get 5 equals, what should it equal? Negative 4. You're multiplying. Okay. So negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Now how do we move the minus 4 to the other side? Plus it. So we do the opposite of what we see. So we get 9 equals the letter b. So now we can use the equation. Y equals mx plus b. All we have to do is, just like the earlier ones, replace the two those two letters. So y equals the slope is negative 2 over 3. And then what's b? Plus 9. So it's positive 9, which means we should write a plus sign. Okay. Negative 9, you would have wrote a negative. Okay, but we didn't have that. Okay, last one, real life situation. I think you'll see one of these. The plumber charges a flat fee. $54 never changes. So we say that $54 is, no, it never changes. The value is constant. Okay. And $24.50 per hour, that changes every hour. We multiply that by how many hours we worked. So total charge, C, equals $24.50 per hour plus the $54 for showing up. Now if I graph that real quick, guess what that's going to look like? You're going to have an intercept of $54, the start, and after 1 hour, you're going to go up by how much? $24.50. And in the second hour, you're going to go up another $24.50. Okay? And the same thing after 3. So you can actually graph how much you get paid. So if you know how to do that, you can figure out, if I only got $600 to spend on this repair, how many hours can I get the guy to work for? Stuff like that. Okay? If you had a company, you'd have a whole bunch of these for all your employees put together, and you can figure out how much your company's going to make. Okay? Good. But you got charged $201. You want to know if the guy's a crook. How many hours did he work if you're having to pay him $201? So what we do is we substitute that in. 201 equals $24.50 times H plus 54. So we're going to solve for how many hours to see if this is correct. So what should you do first of all?
Subtract.
Yeah, always add, subtract first. So minus 54. And that works out to be 201 minus 54, 147. The last thing we can do is multiply or divide. What should we do here? Divide. Why divide? Because we see multiplication. Okay, so divide by 2450. And I think you'll find that H equals 6. So it took him 6 hours to do the work. Okay, so it took him 6 hours. All right. Any questions? Okay, we went a little bit slower. I think you guys needed that, which is good.